So today's mindset topic is on the 4 steps to learning. So everybody starts at this level of unconscious incompetence. And if you think of the idea of learning to drive a car, right, when you're a child, right, you don't even really think about driving a car. So you're unconscious about the fact that you're incompetent, right? It's something that you don't even think about. You move from there to learning how to drive, right? And as you're learning to drive, you become conscious of the fact that you're incompetent with the driving, right? So you're constantly paying attention, or you're constantly aware of the fact that you wouldn't even know how to drive a car if somebody handed you the keys. The next step then is conscious competence, right? So you start to learn how to drive, you become aware of the mirrors and where the brake is and the turn signals, right? And you know how to do it, but you have to be paying attention to it. You have to be conscious of all the different steps that's required. And this can be a do loop, right, of emotion. When you're consciously incompetent and you're aware of that, it can be frustrating and challenging, right? And you try to do it and improve it, and you're just sometimes struggling to really get there until you get to that point of conscious competence, right? Conscious competence is when you know that you can do it. You almost don't even have to think about it. You know, if you think of just driving in general, right? You're not pausing to remember where's the turn signal. You don't pause to remember where's the brake, right? You're just competent, right? And you know that you are, and you don't even have to think about it, right? But imagine, right, now if I was to ask you if you've only ever driven a car, so if you're consciously competent of driving a car, and then I ask you to now go drive a motorcycle, right, you're going to become, unconsciously incompetent of driving that motorcycle, right? Where driving the car, and sorry, I skipped that step, driving the car right now, those of us who've driven cars forever, right, we're unconsciously competent. We don't even think about, like I was saying earlier, we don't think about where the brake is or the turn signal. We just do it. And in fact, our mind drifts off to thinking about a whole bunch of other things when we're driving that car. But if I ask you to drive a motorcycle, you go back to that unconscious incompetence because you have no idea how to apply the skills and knowledge that you had driving the car to a motorcycle. So you go back down to the bottom again. This principle applies to business as well, right? As businesses learn certain pieces of their business and develop skills within their business, but then the business grows, right, and expands or becomes busier, right, we go through the same steps of learning. And the biggest mistake that business owners can make is to reach that level of unconscious competence at where the business is today and get stuck in that status quo of not really thinking about where could the business be tomorrow, and realizing that they're potentially unconsciously incompetent about what that next phase of business is.